Hey beauties, how are you? Steph here. And today I wanted to talk with you about what do you do? How can you cope if someone calls you out in public for being trans? Before we dive into that conversation, remember to go and check out my Patreon for exclusive groups and exclusive content. I would absolutely love to get to know you better, and that is a wonderful place to do so. Okay, so now let's get into our discussion. This is not a complete list. This is just some ideas that I wanted to share with you. So if you have something that has worked for you, please share it in the comments so that some of the other ladies can have an extra resource that might really benefit them in the future, just as your skill, your coping technique benefited you. So, one of the first things that I think is really, really important to consider is your safety. So if you get called out in public for being a transgendered woman, first assess your safety. Do you feel safe? Do you need to call in some support? Do you need to leave the situation? Which I know is really unfortunate. Like, why should you have to leave if somebody else is being a butthead? You know, if somebody else is trying to ruin your time, if they're the one being inappropriate, why are you the one who needs to leave? Well, your safety matters. And maybe you don't have to leave the event or the public place completely, but maybe you just move to a different location, or you can talk to staff and let them know what's going on, and maybe they'll have the other person move to a different location, or they will have to leave completely. However, if you feel that you're in immediate danger, that needs to be the priority because, girl, I love you. I need you to be around. Your other people need you to be around. So we need you to be safe. Okay. Now, the second thing to do that I think is really important and that it will help you a lot is to stay calm, to stay grounded. So some of the things that you can do before responding, if you are going to respond, or if you're just going to ignore them and you want to just stay and continue to enjoy your time, then, sweetie, take some deep breaths. Just breathe in to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 4, breathing in and out through your nose. You could do the box breath, which is breathing into the count of 4 or 5, holding for 4. Like, okay, we'll just say box breath for 4. Hold, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and repeat. And do that a few times to just help yourself feel better. You can like rub your ears a little bit, or you can like pull down on them for like 30 seconds, and then you'd pull out for 30 seconds, and then pull up for 30 seconds. Is going to help your nervous system. You could hum a little bit. You can kind of hold yourself and just rub your arms to kind of help self-soothe, you know, go to the bathroom, gargle some water if you need to, but do something to help yourself stay calm and grounded and kind of recognize whatever discomfort is happening in your body. And you can be like, okay, my heart is speeding up really fast right now. I feel butterflies in my stomach. Just kind of acknowledge what you're doing and then use a tool to help you feel more calm, release that stress so that you can feel safe and grounded and take care of yourself, or respond in a way that is going to be beneficial and help you versus cause you harm or have you regret the way you responded. The third thing is remember your worth. Like, you don't need anyone else's approval to be you besides yours, So if somebody else out there is trying to give you a hard time about being you, that's on them. You don't need their approval. You don't have to wake up in the morning and get some stranger's permission to be yourself. You just have to wake up in the morning and be like, am I going to be myself today? Heck yes, I am. So then I'm going to go be myself. Do you know what I'm saying? So really think about that when it comes to other people trying to say, you have to be the way I want you to be in order for you to have value. That is not true. You get to be your authentic self, and other people can like it or dislike it, and you still get to be you. Do you know what I'm saying? So remember your worth. Remember that you're enough. You have a right to live your life fully. You get to be yourself and do so with confidence. And some people might just call you out because they're curious. They've don't know that they've ever seen a trans woman before. They're just like, oh my gosh, they're just, wow. or maybe they're a kid, or maybe they're ignorant, or maybe they're rude. Who knows? But the point is, you don't have to take their beliefs or behaviors and put it on yourself. You can say, okay, they're having their own little moment over there, and I'm just going to keep living my life fully as me, and I'm going to have a great time. So, on to them. I don't need to take it on to me. They can have it, they can keep it, and I'll just continue enjoying my day. Number 4, you can seek support with the people you're with. And if you're by yourself, you could call a friend and you could be like, hey, friend, I'm just having a really uncomfortable moment right now. And I'm trying to stay calm and grounded and remember my worth. And so I wanted to give you a call. Can you support me in this for a second? I just need to breathe. Maybe you could breathe with me. Somebody is calling me out right now and I feel very uncomfortable. And they'll probably be like, do you feel safe? And you're like, I do feel safe. Okay, so then let's breathe, right? Let's remember your worth. You have every right to be enjoying this experience as they are. You matter. You're enough. You get to live your life. You get to be you. Enjoy it, right? If you need help, they can help you get help, all that good stuff. So definitely use your buddies. Use your support system when you are out and you start to feel uncomfortable. And 5, remember that you have the power of setting boundaries. So if somebody is asking you questions that you don't want to answer, that feels uncomfortable, you can just let them know. Like, hey, I really don't feel comfortable answering those questions right now. Or I'm starting to feel uncomfortable with those questions and I don't want to answer them. Or Google's a great place to go find some of those answers. Hey, you know what? There's some YouTube channels that can explain that further for you. Or, redirect them somewhere else if you would like to do that. But you can also just let them know, like, hey, the way you're approaching me and talking to me, I don't appreciate it. It doesn't feel good. I don't like it. I'm here to have a good time and I need you to stop. With some people, you could even let them know what you are willing to talk about, like what would feel okay, what questions you would want to answer, what conversations you would like to have. And so maybe kind of know those ahead of time, like what is your boundary? What are you going to say if your boundary ever gets triggered or crossed? How will you approach that? Like practice it in your mind, like replay it a few times so that when it happens, it just flows naturally from your voice and you know exactly what you want to say, what you want to do. And that way, if you get like an unexpected boundary triggered where you're like, whoa, I did not like that. You've already kind of practiced, so you have an idea of what you could say or how it would feel comfortable. Even though sometimes it is scary to set a boundary, it could be something that is very, very beneficial and that will empower you and remind you of your worth and that you're able to live your life for you, and that's enough. And other people don't have to approve. Do you know? 6, if the conversation starts getting in a way that is also adding more discomfort to your body, it's feeling elevated, it's not feeling like it's going anywhere, it's very unpleasant, feel free to disengage from the conversation. Just say, I'm actually going to remove myself from this conversation, or I'm going to step away, or I feel like this is unproductive, so I'm just going to step away. A lot of the times, yes, you're going to have to be the one to remove yourself from the situation because not everyone has that emotional intelligence or the maturity to say, this is starting to feel too intense and I can feel my body like dysregulating. So I need to step away. A lot of people will stay engaged and try to convince the other person, but when there's a heightened conversation, we're not going to convince anybody of anything. And you just living your life is convincing people enough that you know your worth, you know that you get to live your life as you, and you're going to live your life, and you're not going to take their behavior personally, and you're not going to let their behavior stop you from being you. So if you have to disengage, just walk away. Just say, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to be done with this conversation right now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over here. So have a good evening and bye. Whatever would be good for you. And number 8, if you'd like to take this opportunity as a teachable moment, then you get to do that too. If you feel like they're open to learning, they're actually curious, they want to know more, they're being respectful, and you want to share with them something, you can take it as a teachable moment and an opportunity to share with them something that you wish other people knew about you, about your journey, or about the transgender community in general. Like you can take it as an opportunity to share with them something that you think is important for them to know that they might not get elsewhere. And remembering it's not your responsibility to teach them, but at the same time, if they're willing to learn and you have something on your heart that you want to share, why not seize the moment and take that teachable moment and use it to share something to empower yourself and hopefully help give them a little bit more insight into your world, into your experience, which can create more compassion for the community in general. And number 8, this is number 8. The last one was number 7. Okay, so number 8, practice self-compassion. Being called out can feel very hurtful. It can feel frustrating. It can be very triggering. It can be very an emotional experience. It can be very uncomfortable. So if this happens, make sure to take time to take care of yourself, to love on yourself. Either process it with a loved one that is there for you, that is supportive and encouraging, or journal about it, or dance it out, or just acknowledge how you felt in that moment. Acknowledge what you did really, really well, and then acknowledge what you want to do differently in the future if it ever happens again, so that you feel more prepared and more ready to say what you want to say. Because sometimes we have that, right? We're like, oh man, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have said this thing. And then you don't say it. And so now if you kind of prepare like, oh, if that ever happens again, I'm going to make sure I want to say this, this, and this, or I'm going to do this, this, and this, right? So kind of process, love yourself, be proud of what you did do that you feel really good about, and then prepare for any future conflicts so that you can even be more proud of yourself and handle it even more like you want to, or have the information you want to share. Like maybe there's a statistic that you couldn't remember, and then you make sure to go write it down so you have it for like the future. You know what I mean? So process, be loving to yourself, remember your value, your worth, even if someone called you out and now you're all caught up in like, oh, I don't pass enough. Oh, all these things. Remind yourself that your journey is beautiful, unique, and you are doing the best you can, and you are learning and you are applying and you are doing all of these things that take some time. So give yourself some grace and some love and some compassion, and maybe have a nice warm cup of tea or a yummy bowl of soup. And 9, turn to your community. Maybe this is something you want to share in our Discord, in the Beautifully Changed Discord, and you're like, oh my gosh, this happened to me today. You can get validation from other trans women and feel supported and heard and loved and seen and known, right? Or maybe you have another community you're a part of and you can share your experience, and you could ask them questions or receive their feedback, or maybe they'll tell you how great you did. You know what I mean? And they'll also understand the hurt that you felt, the discomfort you felt. So make sure to not store it inside and lock it up and throw away the key. Make sure to use your people to share with your community so that you can receive some love and support and validation. And 10, if you feel that this is a reportable incident, report to the appropriate authorities, whether it's maybe you need to call the police, or maybe you just need to let the organization know what had happened, or the place of business know what had happened. And depending on their response, maybe they need some inclusivity training or some awareness themselves of what to do in situations like that, or how to express what their company or policy or organization expects out of their customers, as they are consumers, as they come and enjoy their events or their organizations or whatnot. So if you feel like it is something that you think is reportable, then you can do that. Okay. And if not, that is why you talk with your support system, the community, to just vent and let out your frustrations and say, this felt so unfair. This felt so terrible. It almost ruined my day, but I didn't let it, or it did ruin my day and I'm kind of bummed about that. So I want to make sure I never let something like that ruin my day again, because my life is important. I have worth and value, and I want to have great experiences, even if other people put their limiting beliefs on me. I want to still have a great time. So those are the 10 tips that I have for you. If you have additional tips that you would like to share with the community, please put them in the comments. If you have a story you want to share it in the comments. If you want to share something that you did that really empowered you, share it in the comments, because we are here to cheer for you and to clap for you and to hold space for you. Also, please let me know in the comments what topic you want me to cover for you next, with my humble opinion or my tips that I think might be beneficial for you. So remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more tips, for more meditations, more hypnosis, more warm, lovey, warm, feel-good, healing vibes, and a place where you just get to be yourself and be loved for being you. Also, here are some ways that you can support me. You can join my Patreon. You can share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can donate. You can super thanks. You can buy a personalized recording. You can do one-on-one coaching with me. So lots of options. Okay, beautiful. Have an incredible day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.